So in February of 1998, right between Red Dwarf 7 and 8, during the show's 10-year anniversary, there was an event called Red Dwarf Night. It was basically 2 nights of Red Dwarf-related documentaries and outtakes, ending with the fan-favorite episode Gunmen of the Apocalypse, hosted by Patrick Stewart of all people.
The date on which comedy goes beyond the final frontier. The series is Red Dwarf.
Told you he was a fan.
And tonight, we salute the Jupiter Mining Corporation vessel and its valiant crew.
Day equals made. There was also some new material, including a quiz show where the cast of Red Dwarf went against some fans regarding Red Dwarf trivia. But it started off with a special called Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg. It was hosted by Ainsley Harriott, who had a show I never heard of called Can't Cook, Won't Cook. Fortunately, you don't have to have seen it to understand this. The premise is pretty obvious. But Ainsley Harriott also played one of the Gelfs in Emo Hawk, so he does have a connection to Red Dwarf. So why am I talking about this one? Well, while it isn't an official Red Dwarf episode, everyone, except Ainsley obviously, and Kochanski, is perfectly in character, so it feels enough like an episode. Also, whenever I'm watching all episodes of Red Dwarf in order, I will usually watch this one after season 7.
Anyway, I'm here today to combine cooking and Red Dwarf in a smorgasbord of entertainment. So, let's meet today's first couple.
The first one to show up is Crichton.
What an honor it is. I just can't believe I'm actually here with you and your hat. I would like to nominate Mr. David Lister, a man who has eaten so many curries that his bottom has been known to set off car alarms. If underpants could talk, his would be like that.
Poor Robert Llewellyn forgets his line, but it's in such a way that works and he makes the best of it, God bless him.
In fact, his would be speechless, but I kind of lived it rather than said it.
And can I just say that I really enjoyed those books you wrote about, sticking your hand up a cow.
I have no idea who they're confusing him with, but the banter is great.
No, it was in a book. Well, he put his hand in a book and he stuck the book up a cow.
They're not done making fun of his name, though.
Did you get ribbed about that in school?
About what? Having the initials A-H.
I think he's referring to the fact that A-H also stands for asshole.
Why is that so funny? I love that Crichton helps him by moving the cord out of the way.
Right, let's get on with it, because now it's time to meet the other team. First, let's meet a man who won't cook simply because he's a total smeghead.
I'm gonna take a wild guess that he's talking about Rimmer. I guess they had already revealed that Chris Berry was coming back for season 8.
I've read all your books, and that sequence where you stick your hand up...
It's not him.
I have brought along today someone who I can honestly say is not so much an associate and crewmate, but more an underling and gimboid.
Oh, we missed you, Rimmer. Yeah, if there's anyone who wouldn't know how to cook, it'd be the cat. Even Lister has been known to throw meals together before.
The lucky girl who has volunteered to be our taster.
Well, she didn't so much volunteer, sir. It was lose the ippy-dippy.
And finally, Kochanski. And good lord, is she ever the weak link in this.
Afraid I'm not going to taste anything today. I'm just not hungry. I mean, after all, it was only last week I ate a stick of celery. Look what it's done to my bum.
Yeah, I remember all those times in season 7 when Kochanski told all the guys to look at her butt and complained about how big it was, because that's a thing she does.
I don't want to make a rush decision. Give me a couple more hours. Why do girls always do that?
She's basically just an annoying girl stereotype here. I mean, I know she was already like that to some people, but it's really cranked up to 11 here.
I ain't been on any team with him.
What's wrong with me?
The funny part is that this is very similar to a scene from DNA, only the characters are reversed.
I'm not teaming up with him.
Me? What's wrong with me?
I'm an excellent team man. I get on famously with pretty well everyone. Apart from him. And that pompous, jumped-up mechanoid git.
You flee at the first sign of trouble. You only look after number one. You're vain, you're selfish, you're narcissistic, and you're self-obsessed.
You just listed all my best features. You want to get someone on your team? You better get yourself a major kind of dog.
So Cat's out and... God, listen to the audience lose their shit. As much as I would have preferred that the cat had gotten more screen time, it is kind of hard to imagine him cooking anything. So this was a good way to avoid having him be seriously out of character and still give Danny something to do. Also, what's up with Kochanski here? She looks uncomfortable as hell, like her jacket's too tight or something.
It's a girl. Thank God I'm wearing all of my coolest clothes.
To be fair, this exchange is a little uncomfortable.
These trousers might not be big enough.
So apparently they were supposed to bring food.
A dead space weevil.
We've got some wine made from urine recyc.
No aftertaste or hair loss.
Lister is great in this, by the way.
Actually, that wouldn't really bother you, would it?
Remember how I said a while back how in between scenes Craig Charles is like Mega Lister? He's kind of like that here too.
A mimian bladderfisher.
I've got some rice pudding in the bowl I use to when I get my haircut.
A pot noodle.
Caroline Carmen's here.
Nice callback.
What the hell do you think you're doing? I'm not going to be cooked with no wine.
I have to give Ainsley Harriott credit. As much as the Red Dwarf cast steals the show at times, he's still able to hold his own and be as funny as they are.
Feast your eyes on this.
Naturally, they're making chicken vindaloo because, I mean, it's Red Dwarf. What else are they gonna make?
Rattle those pots and pans. I want the hand in the air there. A little bit of a shake in there.
Now I see why they didn't have the cat stick around. It ended up being a competition for who had the more flamboyant personality.
Pour that in. Absolutely lovely. Remember, nice and controlled.
I like how he doesn't approve of Crichton using his groinal attachment.
Sliced down into the onion there.
You don't need to kill the onion, Lister. It's already dead.
Little fine pieces of onion. That's
Wow, go Dwayne Dibley.
beautiful, Dwayne. That's what I like.
Rimmer's having a little too much fun.
Tossing. We like a bit of that, don't we?
Yeah, best face.
Stand back here.
I like to think that he does stuff like this in his own kitchen when there's no camera running.
Hasta la vista.
Meanwhile, Crichton tries to clean up after Lister and that happens.
Here, you lot are uncontrollable. Sorry. A little bit of salt like that, and that's followed by a bit of salt.
He said a little salt, Crichton. Actually, shouldn't Crichton know how to cook already? Oh well. Notice Dwayne accidentally throwing salt at Rimmer.
There's that lovely
He's
chicken
going
there.
very fast, isn't he?
Lister gets annoyed with Ainsley and
Be careful.
starts throwing raw chicken at him. Maybe I should have given Lister best face. And then he starts eating curry paste with a spoon.
I know what he's doing. You think I'm blind?
Seriously, I love how mad he gets at them. And it's only gonna get worse. And now Lister's spitting out the curry onto the floor. I never noticed that till now. Lister's just eating all the ingredients now.
Bloody rice is burning. Look.
That's not very professional, is it?
Shut up.
I love how Dwayne can't stop showing off his cucumber flipping ability, so Lister starts mocking him. Rimmer's like, give me that. And now I think Lister's throwing pieces of cucumber at Dwayne.
Take the coconut milk in, and when you put it under,
Go Dwayne Dibley again, except now he can't stop.
underneath there.
That's all right, my
lovely.
A word about tomatoes.
Here's an amazing bit. Rimmer distracts Ainsley while Dwayne switches their rice with his, and spits in his food while he's at it.
So very similar fashion.
He's even being really obvious about it, like, hey, look how good my rice looks.
Is there a problem, Mr. Harriott, sir?
No problem at all.
And then, look how bad yours looks.
Who put that on? Who put that on?
And apparently that was totally unscripted, or at least Ainsley didn't know about it for real.
Well, that seems to be a bit dry, sir. But it'll be
Don't worry.
It's a dry rice dish, sir.
Now it's time for the presentation. Lister arranges the parsley as if he's planting trees.
You made like a little miniature
Just
garden.
chop. What am I doing with this pot? This is nothing like mine. You need my pot!
And Ainsley finally figured out what happened.
I don't care! Don't talk to me!
Oh god, Dwayne really is a walking disaster waiting to happen, isn't he?
Coriander, just to finish.
Gotta love how into it these two are. And now it's time for the tasting.
You know what they say? In space, no one can hear you scream.
Good old alien references.
We had a bit of trouble planting the trees.
How about the blindfold? Do you want that on?
I think I'd rather eat the blindfold.
Her one funny line. So she has to try Rimmer and Dwayne's first. And apparently it's not that bad. Also, holy shit, no, this is best face. And now for Lister and Crichton's.
Nice and
I love that he picked his nose on it.
That's enough.
Good use of that clip. Though apparently both turned out pretty bad considering their reactions. And so ends Can't Smeg, Won't Smeg. I'm not gonna have a lengthy post-episode recap type thing like I normally do, since this didn't really have a storyline or any character development or anything like that. I will say that, aside from Kachansky and the occasional bit that went on a little too long in the beginning, this is pretty damn funny in my opinion. Everyone is great in it, and this was a fun little love letter to Red Dwarf. This is the only thing I've seen Ainsley Harriott in other than that Emo Hawk episode, but he was great too. I could see how he could be a bit much, but he kind of had to compete for attention with a Red Dwarf cast, so it all kind of balanced out. Like I said, the only thing dragging it down a little was Kachansky, but I don't blame Chloe for that. It looks like 90% of her direction was along the lines of react to stuff everyone else is doing, like they weren't really sure what to do with her. She could have easily been left out. But whenever she is the focus, at least it's brief. I highly recommend watching this all the way through. It's pretty easy to find on YouTube. I did show all the best bits, but there are a lot of little things I left out, like Crichton almost constantly repeating directions to Lister and cheering him on and such. He does it kind of quietly while other people are talking, so it's kind of easy to miss. Next up is Season 8 with Back in the Red. See you then.
I like. We like a bit of sweetness, don't we? Yes,
Yes,
we do.
indeed we
like
do, sir.
it.
Yes, we love it.
There you go.
We do.
We
That's
do. We
it.
like sweetness.
That's